Welcome to the Be Happy Now show. Flex your soul connection muscle and be your inner guide to fulfillment and purpose. I'm Claudia-Sam. If you know that you're here for a bigger reason, this is the place to be. Together, we ditch the self-care guilt and quit the go with less fear and more trust. Tune in to living life in alignment with your full potential. The Be Happy Now show starts now. Hi, welcome back to the show. Today's all about self-love 101. And if you're like, well, Claudia-Sam, I don't love myself every day. How do I even love myself on days when I don't feel there yet? Oh, I know. Sometimes it can feel like someone asking you to marry them on the first date, right? We are wanting to rip the Band-Aid off. We want to go straight to self-love when we don't really feel we're even there a little bit. Don't worry, I'm going to take you through it. And if you feel like you're in that energy slump of loving yourself, well, you're really at the right place. I'm Claudia-Sam. I'm your soul connection coach, host of the Be Happy Now show. And this is an episode where I get to share with you a text I wrote on what self-love is to me. And I'm going to share with you the foundations of what self-love is to me so that you can be inspired and motivated and perhaps reconnect with your worthiness to feel loved by you. And I really believe that self-love is the foundation of health, of growth, of success, of happiness, of abundance, of positivity, and of inner peace. That from this foundation of self-love, we get to embody the person we wish to be in the world, the person we wish to be with others in the world as well. And if it's the first time listening to the show, welcome. Welcome. If we have never met yet, well, I'm your soul connection coach, and I support driven, ambitious leaders and guides who deep down know that they're here for a bigger reason. They know, you know, perhaps that you want to live life with your passion. You want to be able to lead your life from this place of passion. And to do that, maybe we get to dig a little bit deeper into the well of your inner self-confidence so that that can transpire and just be what emanates, the energy that emanates out from your core being. So I support clients one-on-one or in groups. I also host the Soul Connector Circle, which is pretty much a group-based environment where you get to receive daily pocket coaching to be on your way to more self-love every day, to have motivation and coaching from me every day. And by listening to the show, you get your first month at 50% off. So if you're like, yep, I want to try that, I'm on the go and I want to receive daily pocket coaching, then go to soulconnectorcircle.com and use the code radio50 and you'll be in. Okay. I want to start by sharing with you the text that I wrote, because it might just bring us into the groove of what self-love is for me. And anything I share here, I want you to know that you get to take my words and use what resonates with you and just leave out the rest. You also get to create your own definition and meaning of whatever I say. Maybe you take what I say and you make something new with it. And that is great. Okay. All right. So let's sit comfortably. Allow yourself to just receive the words that I'm going to share with you and notice what emotion, what feeling, what experience you're getting from receiving these words. Okay. And if you've been here before, because I was talking to you if you were new, but if you've been here before, thank you so much for listening or watching the Be Happy Now show. Okay. Ready? Let's take a deep breath in together. Exhale everything. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth to exhale. If you want to receive these words, close your eyes. You might want to close your eyes. You might also want to bring your hands to your heart as an act of self-love to receive these words of self-love. It's like your inner higher self speaking to you. Self-love is a part of you. It's a place you go within. It's an inner knowing. It's who you are, even if you forgot. Self-love is what you've got. Look up to the moon and notice if it's waning or waxing, if it's lit up or awaiting. Then look down to your heart and notice it's still beating. Notice if it's lit up or awaiting. And from that place, remember that self-love, even if tucked far away, it's still there ready for you to lift the veil of shoulds, coulds, have tos, and need tos, the veil of expectation and rejection, the veil of pessimism and other isms. You were born with the right to be loved, to give love. And the first person to replenish by your love is you. Self-love happens when you nourish your body with the breath consciously. Self-love happens when you eat intentionally. Self-love happens when you stop internalizing and embrace your emotions emotionally. Self-love is knowing when to stop. Self-love is standing tall with confidence connected to your inner power and taking action from that place within, that exudes worthiness and belonging. Self-love is a place you go whenever others aren't mirroring your value. Self-love is that energy you access when it feels like the world outside you wants to fail you. Self-love is the inner landscape you get to connect with in any experiment. That landscape you uncover corner by corner, inch by inch, moment after moment. That inner landscape that has no memory of the forgetful and the optimal abundance of the elegance of the divine. Self-love is that part of you that says yes to what's in alignment. Self-love is that part of you that knows what feels all right. That intuitive knowing that vibrates at the frequency of light, that aligned feeling you get when life feels just right. Self-love is a part of you. It's a place you go within. It's an inner knowing. It's who you are. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath. Feel expansive from within. And exhale to let it go and let these words sink deep within. I'd love to know what your experience was of hearing these words. And I feel like the list of what self-love is could go on and on and on and on. I just feel like my earring might be creating extra sound here on the microphone, so I'm just taking it off. Okay. Thank you for your patience. The list of these, what self-love is, meaning or definitions, could go on and on and on. And this is just me, what felt in alignment for me to write just 15 minutes before the show was live, because it felt like I felt poetic and I felt like self-love is so many things. And what I want to bring to you today are 3 words that you can anchor into so that self-love isn't a poem that you get to listen to once in a while, which of course that's what you get to do. And you could also use these 3 words I'm going to share with you as the foundations of self-love. So if on any given moment, at any given moment, you feel a little low on the self-love meter, you get to remember these 3 words and then realign yourself. Because there are moments in our cycle, in the 24-hour day, in the year, in the week, that we might feel lower on the energy scale. We might feel like we need someone else. We need the love to come from outside of us. We might need for validation and reassurance from others. And that's okay. What I feel is the most important is the well of self-love that is always there and always accessible within you is that you get to be at choice. You get to choose whether you allow that validation and the reassurance to come from outside at times. And at other times, when it comes from within you, at least you know it's there. And you get to constantly choose where the love is coming from. Which brings me to share with you the first word of three that could help you with the foundations of self love. The first word is choice. Choice in the extent that you get to set boundaries for yourself. You get to choose what you say yes to and what you say no to. You get to be at choice about what drains your energy and what uplifts your energy. You get to choose what thoughts, what that you have, what reactions or actions that you have or take. You get to choose how you treat yourself, what foods you nourish your body with. You get to choose to be present with your breath or to be present with a Netflix show. You get to choose whether you let the mind voice, the head voice, lead the way, or whether it's the heart voice and the intuition. Choice is such a powerful word. Even if some people might say that we don't really choose, the choices are already laid out in front of us. I find that we are empowered beings that until we know, until we are aware that we are at choice, it's kind of like we let life run itself when we could actually be so much more, well, at choice and in control when we feel like things are out of control. So choice is a word that I'm inviting you to use as a foundation for self-love. When it comes to setting boundaries, if you feel like something you usually do that feels not well right, doesn't feel right, it feels draining, it feels too much, it feels like, oh, I don't want to do this, or oh, that again. Anytime you find yourself in that energy or thinking these thoughts, remember that they are there as an indicator. And then you get to choose, oh, wait, if this action I'm about to take is draining me, then can I choose something else? Can I make another choice, another decision that feels more in alignment with my heart? And by choosing whatever feels in alignment with your heart, that is an act of love towards yourself. That's an act of love towards yourself. Okay. Knowing when to stop is also a beautiful way to set boundaries and to be at choice. When you are, or if you find yourself always on the go, 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 if you find yourself using the word busy when someone asks you, how are you? And you say, I'm good, I'm busy, I'm good, but busy. We're not making this wrong. I'm just shining a light on the fact that you get to be busy and aware. And when it feels like it's too much, when it feels like, wow, this is going to take me to burnout, I can see it, I can feel it, then you get to be at choice. You get to know when to stop. That is an act of love, and that is being at choice. So if you're thinking, if you came in here listening to the Be Happy Now show and this episode thinking, I'm going in front of the mirror and I look at myself and I can't tell myself that I love myself, it just doesn't work. The vibration of energy isn't exchanged properly. It just feels so false, like I'm lying to myself. I get it. So notice how being at choice isn't necessarily about going in front of the mirror and declaring your love to yourself or marrying yourself. It can be about choosing what to say yes to, what to say no to, setting boundaries so that your energy can be uplifted instead of draining. Or, okay, please know that if you choose something that's draining, but you're choosing it because that's what you want right now, then that's fine. And we're releasing the judgment around it. And knowing when to stop when you are so used to being busy is also a beautiful act of self love. So, again, the word is choice. One of the three words I'm going to share with you. If you're just joining us, I'm Claudia-Sam, your soul connection coach, and this is the Be Happy Now show. And we are talking about self love 101. And three words that I'm offering up to you as the foundations of self love. The first word being choice. The second word is awareness. Yes, awareness. Right now, what is the one thing that you are actively doing and that you might not notice? Could be that your heart is beating. Yeah. What about the breath? You're breathing, you're blinking, and sometimes even blinking, we're not noticing that we're blinking. I want to bring your attention to the breath. The breath is this life force that animates the body, that replenishes us with oxygen, and that releases the carbon dioxide, releases the toxins that the body no longer needs. How powerful is that? When we are in awareness with the breath and everything else that's happening in our body and our mind and with our emotions, that is also an act of self love. Because with awareness, we grow. With awareness, we can set boundaries and we can even be at choice. With awareness, we get to make decisions that make us happy. And with awareness, we slowly get to be in front of the mirror and look at ourselves and say, I love you. That's my goal, for you to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and go, wow, I love you. And for it to come from the heart, because it's possible. Okay. There are days when granted, I glance, I get out of bed and I go brush my teeth and I look up and I just cross eyes with myself. And some days I'm like, oh, right, I'm here. And I lock eyes with myself and I take the time to be aware of the moment. I take the time to be at choice with the moment and to choose to look at myself in the mirror and to lock eyes with myself and eventually to say, I love you to myself. When we're talking about awareness, I want to mention the awareness wheel, which you might have heard me speak about in previous episodes of the Be Happy Now show. The awareness wheel includes the body, the mind, and the emotions. And it's a wheel because when it comes to awareness, you can begin or enter the wheel at any place. You can start by being aware of the headache that you have, or you can start to be aware of the pressure that you need to do more, or the whatever thoughts that are keeping alive the busyness, for example. You could also enter the awareness wheel noticing a feeling of unworthiness or a feeling of being judged or unsatisfied. You get to enter the awareness wheel at any point. So when it comes to being aware, or when it comes to the word awareness, remember that you get to be aware with everything. You can choose to be aware of the senses. Right now, look around you. Be aware of the color that stands out at you. When we focus on that one thing, I bet you weren't necessarily thinking about the unworthiness. We are training the mind to focus on something, and we are slowly training the mind to be able to say, I love you to yourself. So, by being at choice about setting boundaries for yourself, saying yes to yourself, and saying no to things that drain you, that is an act of love. So is being aware, being in awareness. And it starts with the breath, because it's this thing that is the life force. When we are aware of the breath, we lengthen the breath, we lengthen the inhale, and we lengthen the exhale. My Guruji's Guruji in Nepal, so my teacher's teacher in Nepal, would say that we are born with a set amount of breaths. And so the yogi's life is extended because of the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale that is longer. And in Tantra Yoga, which is the tradition that I learned in Nepal when I lived there in 2016 and 2017, in Tantra Yoga, the breath is you inhale for a set amount of time, let's say a count of 4, then you hold the breath, and then you exhale longer than the inhale. So if you think about it, that goes in alignment with what my Guruji's Guruji was saying about, we are born with a set amount of breaths. And I'd love for you to experience how much being aware of breath is an act of self-love, especially when you're stuck in the overthinking overwhelm, or when the mind is just going at it with self-criticism, with judgment, with pessimism, with fear, name it. This type of breath can really help calm you down and release anxiety. Would you like to try it? Okay. We're going to inhale for a count of 4. We're going to hold the breath for a count of 3, and we're going to exhale for a count of 5. Sounds good? Follow my lead. Exhale everything. And you're breathing through the nose. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, notice the transition between the exhale and the inhale. Hold the breath. And notice the transition again as you exhale. Beautiful. Now come back to normal breath. Just notice right now the state of your being. Notice the energy you're in. Notice how much calmer just after 3 conscious breaths. By being aware of the breath, by entering the awareness wheel, either at being aware of your body, how the body feels, what is the discourse in the mind, or what emotions you are experiencing, by being aware of any and all of that, it is an act of self-love, and you get to walk more towards loving yourself completely. Okay. The third word, so we had choice, awareness, and now alignment. When I say alignment, I mean being okay with what you said before now, with what you did before now, being okay with who you were before now, being okay with what is, instead of ruminating or judging or being guilty, feeling guilty about what you said or did or meant to be. Releasing the guilt, releasing the shame, releasing the judgment, and being in alignment with who you really are, with what is in the present moment, with what is in the essence of your soul. That is being in alignment. Another way to say this would be being in alignment with what feels right, in the essence of you get to either be busy or you get to be. You just get to be. You get to be busy or you get to slow down. You get to be in an energy of doing or you get to be in an energy of being. You get to choose, depending on the moment, what feels right. If you want to be in the go, 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 and you want to take action from the energy of, I need to feel productive, when you know that this comes from an energy of doing and you're okay with it, let go of the guilt and shame and just be with that. Be in alignment with what feels right in the moment for you. And being in alignment is all about honoring your soul, honoring the divinity, the energy of your words, the energy of you as a being. Because before we were human, we were energy, and we still are energy. And you can still feel energy if you just rub your palms together right now. By rubbing the palms together, we are, creating heat. And we could go on and on and on with this, but very slowly stop and then separate the hands like a few centimeters apart or an inch and feel the push and pull magnetic sensation. That is energy. And the energy extends beyond your fingertips. And when you can be in alignment with the source of who you are, the soul self, the energy realm of who you are as a divine being, that is also an act of self-love, because you're descending from the head to the heart. You're moving out of the busy and into the being. This is an act of love towards you. You are accessing what feels right to you, what feels in alignment with your soul self. So the three words that can be your foundation for more self-love are choice, awareness, and alignment. I would love to hear your thoughts and how this whole perhaps new way of seeing self love feels for you. And I want to leave you with an affirmation. Instead of looking at yourself in the mirror and lying to yourself in a way, saying, I love you to you when you don't fully love yourself, maybe add a few words that can help you. For example, look at yourself and say, I am working towards loving you. I'm working towards loving you. And being fully honest with yourself, that is also an act of love. Thank you so much for being here with me on this episode of the Be Happy Now show. And again, if you feel like you want to receive daily pocket coaching to keep your new self-loving habits on track, then join me in the Soul Connector Circle at 50% off of your first month. Use the code radio50. Go to soulconnectorcircle.com. And I'd love for you to join me in this dance between ego and soul so that you can nourish yourself with more self-love on a daily basis. Get out of the head, access the heart, find that alignment with that divinity, with that energy of your soul self, and be at choice about whether you get to be aware of the head voice or the heart voice. It's pretty much gathering everything we talked about today. It is the dance between ego and soul. It's a 30-day challenge for free that you can register to and play with me between June 15th and July 14th. And if you listen and hear this at any point after or during, still join me. Go to claudiasamsoulcoaching.com/ego versus soul. Ego vs soul. And you can also watch the videos that I've been playing with since April 17th, 2022. Now we're on day 55 of Dancing with Ego and Soul. You can watch my videos on my personal Facebook page. Go to my page, Claudia-Sam Cataford Sauvé. I'm so looking forward to seeing you there and getting to know you more. Thank you. And here's to more self-love. You've been listening to the Be Happy Now show with me, Claudia-Sam. Flex your soul connection muscle and be your inner guide to fulfillment and purpose. Tune in live every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on transformationtalkradio.com. You are worthy of being you and of connecting to what stops you from living the life you are meant to live. Access more soul connection coaching at claudiasamcoaching.com.